Greetings to everybody who is joining this live. I love my house music. Trying to get the energy up. We're gonna get started in about a minute. Just waiting for a few more people to jump on. All right. So let me turn that down. All right. Let me get back to the screen. Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? Happy Tuesday from social distancing, quarantine, whatever you guys want to call it. I'm here in Southwest Atlanta at home with the family, homeschooling the boys. I'll be starting online next week working with my students. And, you know, everyone's world has been turned upside down with this coronavirus. I checked the CDC today and they said it's about over 700 cases reported in the state of Georgia. So I'm just looking at some notes that I wrote here. And there's about a little over 25 deaths that we've experienced here in Georgia as it relates to the coronavirus. And so, you know, my prayers go out to all of the families that are being affected by this. No one's experienced anything quite like this in many years, since maybe the Spanish flu, but nothing quite like this has been seen in our community here in Atlanta, Georgia, nationally, internationally. And so really the reason why I decided to title this The New Era of Wellness is because I really think that this coronavirus has shaken people up in a good way. So let me repeat that. It's shaking people up in a good way. So from a community standpoint, we're using technology to connect, to share, and also, you know, the moments that I am able to go out and go to the store, I'm looking at the choices people are making, and it's shifting in how they are trying to support themselves and to support their wellness. And I think that's a good thing. For many years, some of us in our families, you know, in different areas have been trying to reach out to our community and tell them that some of the things that they've been doing have not been serving them well. But I think now people are really listening. So if you are just jumping on, share it out. I'm going to just basically be talking to you about what I think you could be doing, some of the things you could be doing, and it's going to look different for everyone. Some of the things that you could be doing to really support yourself and your family during this time. And you'll find that a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about are things that you already know about. It's just a reminder of what we should be doing, the things we have to get back to, our old ways, okay? And for those of you who are joining who don't know, my name is Chef B, Dr. Natasha Bruley. I'm a lifestyle medicine health coach. I'm a raw and plant-based chef. I'm a professor. I'm a mama. I'm a wife. I do a lot of different things. And one of the things that this COVID-19 has done for me is pushed me to be a little bit more still. And I know it's done that for a lot of us. Many people have been moving and doing too much. And as a result, their immune systems have been compromised. And that's why we're probably seeing an uptick in this virus, because many of our immune systems are compromised because of the lifestyle that we're living. Okay. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to share with you some things that you really support yourself and your family. I also want to mention that I actually work at a physician's office. So she is a functional physician, Robbins Health Alliance, and we have a holistic approach to wellness. We call it lifestyle medicine. And really from a evidence-based perspective, we believe that through changes in your lifestyle, you can prevent, treat, and reverse many diseases that come up. And with that, you're actually going to help to support your immune system, which is really your big arm of defense with viruses, diseases, just all sorts of things coming into your body. All right, so for those of you, I'm going to see if I can actually see some of these comments. So if you're jumping on, please make sure that you comment, make sure that you ask questions. I love questions, and I love keeping it in a sort of educational sort of setting. So I just want to kind of define for you what wellness is. All right. So there's a difference between being healthy and being well and wellness. So wellness is a state of being in good health, especially as an actively pursued goal. And I love it's an action word, right? It's an active pursuit of that goal. And so that means that it's something that we should be doing all the time, not when we're afraid, not when we think that someone's gonna hurt us or something's gonna hurt us. Wellness should be something that we're constantly trying to achieve by our regular practices, our daily practices. And once again, it looks different for everyone, but they're just some general things that we can do. All right. And then also for lifestyle medicine, once again, this is the first line of treatment. So lifestyle, your lifestyle and changing your lifestyle is the first line of treatment to prevent, reverse chronic diseases. All right. So lifestyle medicine is that. We're not talking about drugs. We're talking about you doing the different things that you can do to reverse, treat, or prevent diseases from happening. And that includes, of course, viruses. All right, so let's jump in. I want to ask the question, and it's an honest question. So COVID-19 has been around for some months now, and many of us are now experiencing quarantine, lockdown, things of that nature. I want to know, once you realize that this was serious, right, that this was affecting everybody, everyone's life, what kinds of things did you do to change what you've been doing? That is, what kinds of things were you actively doing or are actively doing now to improve your wellness? That's my question. What kinds of things are you doing now to actively improve your wellness? So I'm gonna wait and see if anybody answers that question. So again, the question that's up for grabs right now: what kinds of things are you doing to actively improve your wellness? That's what I want to know. Anybody? Okay. What kinds of things are you doing now to actively improve your wellness? All right. And if you're not sure what to do, that's fine too. Because some people are nervous, right? And they're just not sure what they can do to actively improve their wellness. All right. So I don't see any comments yet about that, and that's cool because some people are still trying to jump on and figure out, where we are. So I'll say this. One of the things that I immediately did was I actually talked to my doctor. I talked to the physician at the Robbins Health Alliance, all right? The doc. We call her doc. All right, so I see one comment. Hydrating, drinking way more water. Awesome. Why do you think, AJ, thank you. Why do you think that hydrating and drinking way more water is important? And we're going to talk about how you can even improve that. That's awesome. So hydrating, drinking way more, that you immediately started doing to improve your wellness. Excellent. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anything else? What other things did people do to actively improve their wellness? All right, so let's talk about the hydrating. So hydrating is super important. We don't want to be dry. A lot of times in the winter time, it's really hard to get the water down. And the reason why is because it's cold and people don't really like to drink when it's cold, right? You want to drink, soups, warming foods, things of that nature. But that's probably one of the most important times that you want to stay hydrated. One, because dehydration really sets in viruses, diseases, things don't move in your body as much in terms of waste, things of that nature when you are dehydrated. All right. So we want to keep our system flushed. And when we are hydrated, we want to make sure that we're drinking half our body weight in water daily. When we're hydrated, we're basically allowing our system, all the different body systems, to get what they need. All right. Also, AJ says body made up of 60 to 70% water, and it helps your immune system. Absolutely. We should be drinking room temperature water. Exactly. Thank you, AJ. So no cold water. Ideally, you want to drink warm water, right? During the day, throughout the day. When you drink water early in the morning, it should not be cold water. It should be warm water. And I want to actually talk a little bit about these liquids, these beverages that are different than what some of us are drinking out there. A lot of us are drinking sodas. A lot of us are drinking very sweet beverages. I want to, have you consider, putting down the sugar forever, but definitely for now, because whenever we use sugar in our foods, it actually creates inflammation. All right. And so I wanted to share this with you. Hey, Yolanda, thank you for joining this. And I'm going to go to yours in a second. I want to show you this. This is that I'm going to give a big ups to Patrick Dells. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a master herbalist. He's absolutely incredible. He lives in the Caribbean. He lives in Grenada. He talks about sipping on something like this throughout the day, which I think is a uptick. Is kind of like a up game for your water. So what Patrick recommends is putting some warm water inside of a bottle with orange peel. Some ginger is in here. I actually twisted up the recipe a little bit. I put lemon peel in here. There's orange essential oil in here. We also have ginger in here, and we have some cayenne pepper. And one of the reasons why we put the cayenne pepper and the ginger is because it creates heat. It creates heat in the gut. And so from an immunity standpoint, when we are bringing in hot foods, things like cayenne into our body, it helps to heat up the gut, right? And so really nothing can live when it gets down there. In addition to that, we're going to talk a little bit about, and we also add in here peppermint oil. So we have in here water. Let me go back over it. So water, ginger, there's lemon peel in here. There's some wild orange essential oil, a drop of peppermint oil, and cayenne pepper. And the goal is to sip on this. And what you're doing is you're creating a hot environment for immune support. All right. You're creating a hot environment for immune support. Viruses don't like when things are hot. All right, they just don't like it. And so when you sip on this throughout the day, you'll feel that heat in your mouth, you'll feel that heat in the gut, and this really definitely helps with keeping the immune system strong. All right, so we have Yolanda Wilson who's joined us, and she says, hey, Chef B, increasing sleep to build immune system. Yes. Increasing organic fruits and veggies, salt baths to detox. Yes. Excellent, 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 excellent. So we'll get to that shortly. This is amazing. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So we talked about drinking a lot of water. Again, ideally, and you guys can drop those in the comments, half your body weight in ounces of water daily. Ideally, it should be warm water. All right. We don't want cold water, because actually cold water, it kind of shocks your system. So we want things flowing. So we want warm water to flow. The other thing that I know a lot of us don't necessarily do, but we want to get back to, I'm from the Caribbean, and I've gotten off my game with some things. And this is just a reminder to get back on my game, is teas. All right. So when I was growing up, every Saturday without fail, my mom, she would get ready the night before and she would have this bush tea that she soaked down. And on Saturday, because we didn't have anywhere to be, she would give us bitters. All right. She gave us bitters. And that basically helped to flush our system out. It helps to cleanse the kidneys. It helps to cleanse the liver. It helps to detoxify the intestines. It just pushes a lot of the waste out. All right. And so we want to get back to our teas. Some recommendation for teas that you guys can be drinking, things like plain peppermint tea. So you can actually grow peppermint in your home garden, or you can actually get a little peppermint plant. You can go to places and get your own peppermint plant, and you can grow your own peppermint and then dry the leaves so that you know where the leaves are coming from. Because a lot of times their teas, particularly when you buy them in the bags, you don't really know if they're being filled with other things. So peppermint teas are awesome. Antibacterial, antiviral, wonderful. Any kind of peppermint, right? So spearmint, peppermint, all of those are good. All right. You also want to consider green teas. Green teas have a ton of antioxidants in them. Some of them have a little bit of caffeine, but the antioxidants are so powerful, you know, I'll sacrifice a little caffeine for the antioxidants. Hibiscus, or some of you might know when you see me out there drinking sorrel. So what we're suggesting is the sorrel flower instead of actually sweetening it. A lot of times the way we drink sorrel as a beverage is not good. We're killing everything because we add so many things to it. When I'm talking about sorrel in this case, is I'm saying to you, soak the sorrel, keep the sorrel soaked, do not apply any heat to it, don't add any sugar to it. And what you want to do is you want to drink this daily. All right. Sorrel, or as we call it, hibiscus, is loaded with vitamin C. All right. Loaded with vitamin C. So we want to, of course, irrigate our system, but then we also want to make sure that we're adding a lot of good nutrients to our body. And things that help to support the immune system are things like vitamin C, vitamin D, also zinc. Zinc is super good for your immune system as well. So for vitamin D, you can actually go outside and you can get fresh air. That's going to get you vitamin D. But if you cannot go outside, for some people, they live in an apartment building, they're doing social distancing, we don't know what everybody's situation looks like, you can do vitamin D supplements. But if you are in a home, if you are in a community where there's not a lot of traffic, you literally can go outside or sit on the stoop and just get fresh air, vitamin D. You can do that, okay? So let's go back real quick to the teas. So we said water, we said things like peppermint tea, green tea, hibiscus. Again, these things are good because they have antioxidants, but then they also have vitamin C. And we want to think of very natural ways of getting our vitamin C. If you're not doing citruses, sometimes, you know, you just, depending on what's going on in your community at the grocery store, some people have taken all of like certain kinds of fruits and vegetables. So I know that like oranges and tangerines, those are super, super good for vitamin C. but some of us might not be able to access them right now. So here's some other cool things that you can be eating that has vitamin C. So you can be eating greens. All right. So your collards have a lot of vitamin C. And I don't know if you know this, but peppers actually have way more vitamin C than oranges. It's loaded with vitamin C. So if you are utilizing a lot of these foods, and those are in abundance, because last I went to the supermarket, those things were not out. All right. So you can be using a lot of these fruits and vegetables to get your vitamin C. All right. Another good way to boost the immune system with a beverage would be elderberry. All right. So sambuco is really the herb, or it looks like a berry, right? And it's beautiful because what it does is it helps to the progression of cough, cold, and flu symptoms. And it's just antiviral in nature. So elderberry is a wonderful beverage that you can also drink regularly to keep your immune system fortified. And you can do that daily. All right. These are things that I'm recommending that you guys do daily. All right. So those are just some examples of beverages that you guys can use to just bring some push to the immune system, bring some vitamin C, bring some antioxidants to the immune system. Also, let's move to movement. So, and I want you guys to drop in the comment, how many of you guys are moving? So now that we are social distancing, there's so many free tools that's online, so many things that people are offering just to keep everyone engaged. How many of you are moving? And if you're not moving, that's okay. You can tell me. That's fine too. So what kinds of things are you guys doing to move? And we're going to talk about why moving is so important. All right. Movement. What kind of movement do you guys do? Anybody? What kind of movement do you guys do? Anybody want to share? What kind of movement do you guys do? I love yoga. All right. Yoga is my medicine. So I do yoga just about every day. And let's see, Kimberly Evans joined Wake this morning before the rain. Okay. What kind of movement do you guys do from the comfort of your own home? What kind of movement do you guys do? I do yoga. That's one of my things. I love yoga. Anybody else? What do you guys like to do? So let me talk a little bit about the yoga and see if anyone else responds. So not just yoga, but just even like jump rope. Now's a great time if you have a jump rope to do some things. AJ just added that she did a hike Sunday and pumping bicycle tires up today. You got to get outside. That's true. Yes. Social distancing, of course. Yes, yes, yes. Denise, hey, how you doing, Denise? She's walking 2 to 3 miles if the weather is okay. Beautiful. All of these things are super important because it's moving the lymphatic system. And so for those of you who don't know, the lymphatic system is everywhere, right? There are these little pockets underneath the skin everywhere on the body. And what it does is it holds waste. And if you sit stagnant for long periods of time, it's almost like that waste builds up. All right. So think about when we have Christmas, Kwanzaa, we have these different holidays, and the trash guy doesn't come. That stuff just sits there, right? After a while, it starts smelling. It's terrible. Now, with your lymphatic system, you may not smell anything right away, but that's when you start seeing issues with your immune system being compromised, when you're not flushing out that system. So some ways that we can flush out our lymphatic system are simple. We just move. Just move. There is no excuse for many of us who are home to not move. You can do yoga. I love what AJ said. Stretching, ab exercises. Absolutely. You can even pop in a tape or even go on YouTube, and there's some cool videos where you're walking at home. All right. You could do some kickboxing. You could do some African dance where you work up a sweat, because when you start working up that sweat, basically what you're doing is you're secreting those toxins. And that's what we want to do. We want to keep that lymphatic system moving. Yoga, walking, stretching. You can do some really cool, fun things with the kids now that you're home. I like to do competitions with them. around who's stronger. So we'll do push-ups. We just want to make sure that we're working up a sweat. So anything that you can do, if you have a backyard and you can get outside and run around the backyard, anything that's going to move the lymphatic system. This also increases your immunity. All right, we also mentioned, of course, vitamin D. Vitamin D is crucial. Many of us are vitamin D deficient. And for those of you who don't know how much vitamin D, we want to do about 20,000 ICUs of vitamin D if we can. As a regular supplement, 20,000 to 25,000 ICUs if your vitamin D levels are super low, okay? I also want to now talk about plant-based foods. So, that's what I do. I'm all about the plant-based foods. And, there was a myth. There's this myth that plant-based foods are super expensive and they're not, what do y'all, plant-based foods is the first line of defense when you guys are dealing with any kind of issue with the body. We always go back to the really good foods that maybe we were exposed to when we were children, depending on where we were from. But plenty of greens. Y'all, this time we want to minimize the amount of starches that we're eating, because what happens is starches clog up our mucous membranes, all right? So we want to minimize our bread. We want to minimize our white rice. We want to minimize all of the different carbs that's going to clog up our mucous membranes. We want to keep things light, fluid, so we're pushing waste out of the body. And one of the ways that we do that is by eating a ton of greens, kales, collards, Swiss chards, sprouts. I actually did a video on how you can sprout, which is amazing. And you can make sprouting greens too. All of these things are super good for, one, creating enzymes in the body. It helps to support our digestive system. And if you don't know, most of your immunity is in the gut. 80% of your immunity is in your gut. So whatever you can do to support your gut health, that is increasing your enzymes so that you can access those nutrients. It's going to help you to break down the foods that you're eating. That's important. Celery juice. I love my celery juice and just eating celery, because that really helps to repair the gut over time, helps to regulate the blood pressure. It just does so much. So you want to incorporate as many green juices as possible, okay? In addition to the green juices, we want to also make sure that we are incorporating really good, not too sugary fruits into our diet. So definitely the berries, all of the wild berries, the blackberries, the raspberries, all of those things are absolutely amazing right now. Coconut water, all right? Coconut water is amazing right now for those of you who might be looking at this in other countries. I know I'm jealous. You guys can get the coconuts for super cheap, bust it open, drink the water, get the jelly. All of those things help to keep our immune system super duper 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 strong. All right. And, I also say you don't need much. You don't need much. I live in a family of 4. I live with, myself and 4 males, and they want to eat everything. But really, you don't need to eat a ton of things right now, because one, the more food you're eating, all right, we want to make sure we're eating right. So let me be clear about this. We want to make sure that we're eating right, but we don't want to make sure that we're eating in excess by stress eating and things of that nature. Because the more you eat, the more energy, the more time your gut, your digestive system has to process all of those things. So you want to be smart and intentional with the foods that you are putting in your mouth. High vibrational foods that are going to boost your immune system and keep you fortified and strong, okay? And the last thing that I want to talk about here is the oils. So I want to actually show you, I want to demonstrate something that you could do every day. So this is peppermint essential oil. And I wanted to show you something. Like, this is a very powerful way to kind of keep viruses away. And I learned this from Patrick Dell. So it's pretty exciting. So one of the things that he suggests that you do is you get your peppermint oil. You can either add this to water. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add it to the palm of my hand. And I'm going to put that peppermint oil on the roof of my mouth. And I'm going to inhale. Once again, we have the peppermint oil inside of here, but then also we can put a drop in our mouth like this. Or we can do it in our hand like I just did. Okay, now what is peppermint going to do? Peppermint, if you've ever had peppermint essential oil heats things up. All right, so when you put that peppermint on your hand and then you put it in your mouth and you inhale, you're creating heat. All right, it's very hot. You can also take your peppermint oil and you can put it right here, not in your eyes, but on the temples. All right. Viruses love to live by the eyes. That's why they tell us not to touch our eyes and in the sinus cavity. All right. And so what we want to do is we want to be mindful about, one, touching those areas, but what could we do to keep heat there so that viruses don't want to stay there? And so one of the things that you can do is this peppermint oil. All right. So you can do what we did, just add it to your hand, put it to the roof of your mouth, inhale. You can put it right here, right by the sinuses, and you'll find that you want to tear up, okay? And that's because you're creating heat. The other thing that you can do with this peppermint oil, y'all, is you can get a pot. You can get a pot, put it on the stove, heat it up, right? And you can do a sinus steam. You can do a sinus steam. You can do this every day. What happens is that heat from inhaling not only the peppermint oil, but the steam, what it's going to do is it helps to clear out any kind of viruses that want to grow up in the sinus cavity. That's one of the reasons why we do sweats so much. So some of you who are joining, they know that we do sweats. Sweats help to clear out the lymphatic system, but then also by inhaling all of that hot heat. We're talking about temperatures way over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. You're helping to kill out whatever is basically trying to live up into the sinus cavity. And then what we do is we rinse with cold water to just push out all the toxins off the body. Okay, so now, right now, we can't do a sweat in that capacity, right? But what you can do, because a lot of viruses like to live up in this area, you can get some water, boil it in a pot, add a couple drops of peppermint oil to that pot, put a towel over your head, and inhale. And you can do that for about 5 to 10 minutes. You can do that for each of your children. You can do that for your spouses, your loved ones, and you guys can take turns doing that. All right. So you want to use your oils. This is one amazing, let me tell you, peppermint oil is amazing. You can use it for so much. It helps with your respiratory system. It helps with everything. All right. The other thing that I want to share with you, there are quite a few essential oils that you might want to consider having in your arsenal that can support just your immune system, just immune support for you. All right. So like right now, I'm actually diffusing a little bit of frankincense. I'm diffusing oregano, and I can show you real quick what I'm doing here. Yeah, there you go. So I'm diffusing oregano. I'm diffusing some grapefruit, some melaleuca. We also have so oregano, grapefruit. What else is in there? Grapefruit, frankincense, melaleuca, and I feel like I'm missing a big one. Oh, On Guard or a protective blend. So there's quite a few essential oils in here. So it's clove in there, there's cinnamon in there, there's wild orange in there. And all of these things are for immune support, okay? And one of the reasons why we diffuse in the house is to help to clear the air in the house. The best way to clear your air, of course, is to get outside. And if you can, keep 2 doors open on either side of your home so that you can let air circulate. You want to do that, okay? You want to do that because when you are not doing that, you are basically breathing in stale air. So one of the things that diffusing essential oils can do in the home is it can basically help to cleanse the air, all right? So we want to do that, but then the best thing that you can do for yourself is you want to get outside, breathe in some fresh air, And that's going to also help you to get your vitamin D. All right. So I'm going to go here and look. Let's see. Do we have any other comments? Let's look. All right. So AJ talked about home stretching, her ab exercises. Yes, absolutely. We talked about walking. These are all such important things to do. And so, you know, when we're talking about the new era of wellness, one of the things, the reason why I say this is because I really think that how our lives have been disrupted by the coronavirus, hopefully this is going to be the jolt that we needed to get back to the old ways that we've been taught to take care of ourselves. So many of these things should not be foreign to us. You know, it's just about us really tapping back into our old ways and old traditions in doing things. Drinking water, drinking teas, cleansing regularly, pushing things out of our bowel, our intestines regularly, detoxification, making sure that we're moving the lymphatic system. All of these things are so important. And one of the things that was mentioned here that I didn't talk about is rest. So, Yolanda talked about that. So Yolanda talked about building immune system through rest and sleeping, right? And so, you know, for those of you, and I mean, some of us struggle with getting enough sleep. For me, all the time growing up, y'all, I've always been one of those people that just needed 6 hours to rest. I've just always been that person. As I'm getting older, what I'm finding is that even though I might sleep straight for 6 hours, there's no real need to get up and jump to it. I can just stay in the bed and I can rest. All right. So why do we want to do that? Well, one of the reasons why we want to rest is because at different phases of the night, our body is resting and digesting, but it's also repairing our body systems. All right. It's repairing by resting and digesting our kidneys. Our kidneys is producing acid that we need in our body, and then it's going to push that out early in the morning. It's repairing our liver, right? It's repairing all of the different body systems and all the things that we need. That's one of the reasons why we don't want to eat very late and then go to sleep. Because when we do that, we are basically putting our digestive system to work when it should really just be chilling out. All right. We want to rest and digest. So for those of you, you know, I know it's crazy right now, and a lot of us are having a difficult time resting, but you can rest in different ways. Even if you're like me that gets 6 hours solid straight, you need, you know, a few more hours. You can take naps now during the day. All right. So napping is always a game changer for us, and it's always available to us. So a 30-minute, 45-hour nap is super nice, ideally, as we are in these times. Some of us have, you know, a little bit of extra time. Some of us are privileged to have some extra time, so we can definitely do that. All right. So immune system support through rest, and then also through meditation. So I'm going to share something with you guys that I really hope you guys join me with, is a meditation challenge. So I love doing guided meditations with Deepak and Oprah. And Deepak and Oprah now have a meditation challenge that's happening right now. It's, let's see, what is that one called? And give me a minute, let me find it for you guys. And I'll tell you what it is. It's absolutely free, and I would love for you guys to join. Particularly if you've never tried meditation, it's a wonderful way for you to rest and for you to reduce your cortisol levels and just chill out. So this particular meditation, 21-day meditation challenge started yesterday, and it's called Hope in Uncertain Times. And so it's a call for everybody to rest by meditating and to really kind of go inward, and for us to have this collective consciousness of wellness, and for us to really raise the vibration of the world. I love what AJ said. She said, stop watching the news so their minds can rest. Yes. So if you're one of those people that go to sleep to televisions being on, don't do that. That's not good for you. All of that information seeps into your subconscious, and you don't get a good chance to rest. So for many of you, you know, we actually did a video a long time ago about resting. You really don't want to have any kind of technology in the space that you're using for rest. You want to make sure that you have an awesome sleep hygiene routine. And a sleep hygiene routine, for those of you who don't know, is just a process that you go through every night so that you can rest easy. Some people might need to take a shower. Some people might need to just have a ritual, some rituals that they employ every night so that their body knows it's time to rest. Denise says this might be a wake-up call for some. All processed foods were cleaned out, but the produce section was well stocked. Yes, when I went to the grocery store. Yes, yes, yes. That's many people. That's many, many people. But hopefully that's going to change. I really hope that's going to change. Going back to the rest piece, another thing that you guys can use for rest is lavender essential oil. All right. So lavender essential oil really just helps your body to get into that space of resting. And you definitely want to utilize your essential oils. And lavender may not be the one for you, but there's some other wonderful essential oils that just help you to relax. Another one that's really nice is called vetiver. All right. And so, yes, rest, rest, rest. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions from anyone on? Any questions? All right. So what I want to do, while you guys are on, I'm going to drop the link to the challenge. It's called Chopra.com. I would love for all of us to jump on and do some meditation. Because, during this time, like, people are stressed out, y'all. They are stressed. Some people don't know what's going to happen with their positions at work. Some people are furloughed. They just don't know, all right? And so we need to make sure that we're using these tools, these basic things that we don't have to spend extra money for. Not a lot of them. Yes, you got to buy food. But some of these things that we are talking about, you don't need anything but yourself and your will and your commitment to wellness to do it. Okay? That's all you need. Okay? And so in these cases, what we want to do is we want to look at and take a survey of all the tools that we have that have the least barrier of entry. And like, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose in this new era of wellness? You know what you have to lose? Your wellness. That's what you have to lose. And so if this is an opportunity for you to think about one thing that you could do differently, one thing that you can do differently today that you haven't done before, that might feel a little overwhelming or scary. One thing that you can do to just reframe yourself, shift. Then I want you to try to do that thing. All right. The other thing I definitely would love for you guys to do is to, check out that link, Chopra.com. And I want you guys to meditate. If you guys need any like elderberry or essential oils or any of those things, you all know that I have chefb.com, and I'll drop that link to you. And if you go on that site, you can find different essential oils. You can find out what they're good for. And then what we just launched was our elderberry store. So if you're interested in getting elderberry into your home, super good for immune boosting the body, you want to definitely check that out. All right. I am going to jump off. It's we're almost close to 11. Actually, 12 o'clock. And I just want to wish you all wellness. I want to wish you all just the best. I think that this is an amazing opportunity for all of us to connect and be the best that we can be. There is a plethora of resources that are available to all of us online that are free. People are offering so many ways to connect so that you're not alone on your wellness journey. Try something different, y'all. For those of you who are homebound, you're homeschooling children, I'm an educator, so I teach from home now. I push myself. Some days I don't want to do anything, but I push myself to do something that is important for my wellness and my well-being. I'm pushing these children. You got to drink these tinctures. You got to do this. You got to do that. We're diffusing essential oils. We're really taking care of ourselves. It's so important. I'll give you another goodie, guys. I'll also drop in another recipe that you guys can use. So it's a protective blend. It's a blend of essential oils that has cinnamon, wild orange, rosemary, It's a really good essential oils to help support your immune system, along with oregano, lemon, and melaleuca. I'm going to actually drop that recipe in for you guys so that you guys can, get it. And if you have questions about any essential oils, you can definitely let me know. Remember, vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. You want to make sure that you have those in your arsenal, okay? And so if you are not sure which vitamins to get, that's cool. You want to make sure that you are eating foods rich in vitamin C, vitamin D, well, not vitamin D because you can't get vitamin D from food like that, but vitamin C and zinc, antioxidants, all right? And you want to supplement vitamin D. So remember, about 20,000 to 25,000 ICUs of vitamin D, if you can get it, and you want to use these things religiously. All right, we got to get up on our game. Hey there. Hello, Miss Lee Chung. Thanks for your good advice. Thank you so much for joining us. So I want you guys to get out there, make sure that you are social distancing wisely. Make sure that you are using this opportunity to educate yourself on all of these different modalities and different ways that you can support your wellness for not only yourself, but for your family. And then I'm challenging all of you guys to do something a little different. How can you, in this new era of wellness, really up your game? What could you do different that you have not done before? How can you be more intentional about your wellness than ever before? What are you willing to give up? What is not serving you well? All right. You got to think about these things and really take action for yourself, because ultimately this is for you and this is for the family and for longevity. All right. But I'll tell you this, from an immunity standpoint, a lot of the things that we're learning about COVID, this is not going to be the last one unless we think about how we change how we view animals and how we treat animals. A lot of this stuff started in supposedly in a wet market. And if you're not familiar with wet markets, a wet market is basically kind of like a place where people go to get like a butcher shop, where they get live food, wild animals, exotic animals, and just in terms of the integrity and the cleanliness of those places are not always what they need to be. So again, this is one theory of how this particular virus was started. So we got to keep ourselves strong. Our bodies can heal ourselves. All right. Some of us are nervous. Oh, we're waiting for a vaccine. We can do the work. Our bodies is meant to heal us. And so it's time for us to really stand in this new era of wellness and take action, take a stand on being strong for ourselves and for our family. Period. You have to be unapologetic about it. You have to take that stand. All right, so I'm going to jump off. If you guys need anything, please drop comments. I really would appreciate it. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. Again, Chopra.com if you want to do the meditation challenge with me. It started yesterday, and it's called, just so you know, it's Hope in Uncertain Times. That's the name of this particular meditation challenge. They're absolutely beautiful. It's a wonderful way for you guys to de-stress, go inward, and really from a vibrational standpoint, raise the vibration of the energy that you're bringing into your body. Meditation always helps. It helps you to channel. It helps you to get the downloads that you need so that you know what to do next. And many of us aren't doing that work. So I encourage you guys to join that meditation challenge with me. I encourage you to check this video out again, like replay it. If there's some things in here that you guys might have missed, replay it and share it out to people who you think might need some new information on how they can take care of themselves. Because I'll tell you this, when I go to the supermarket, there's folks who they're grabbing for different things. They're not sure what they want. They're not sure what they need. All right. They're just grabbing for things because they're panicking. They're thinking about, oh man, if I have to be in the house for a month, what's not going to go bad? So they're choosing the wrong foods because they're thinking about things that are going to be preserved for a long period of time. They don't need none of that stuff. They need live food, and you can access live food at any time, period. All right. So I'm going to hop off. Thank you guys for joining this live. Share it out, and peace and blessings on this Tuesday. I love you all. Please stay safe, and we'll talk soon.